Good morning. How's it going? All right, this one should be relatively short. Maybe I say that every time and then it ends up being longer than I think it's going to be. Slope-intercept form. Linear functions. Linear functions are functions that make a line, right? Linear line. Okay, so take a minute, pause me for a second, copy this stuff. And then there's just 2 examples down there, and that's it. So yay. Oh, pause me. Okay. And let's take a look. So if we're given 2 points on a line, then we can find the slope. We're going to use this equation throughout the chapter. You should have this memorized for algebra from Algebra 1. You might just need to recall it. It's somewhere in your brain. I'm certain of it. These are just little subscripts. Because we have 2 different points, we need to be able to distinguish between the x's and the y's. So this is just saying this is x1 and y1 for the first point. The technical way of saying it is x sub 1 and x sub 2, sub for subscript, okay? Remember that this is rise over run, and if we were in the classroom, I would do some kind of rising motion with my arm to represent the y-axis, and then I would actually run across the classroom to represent the x-axis. So maybe you can just do a little visual of that. We run, right? Imagine how we run. That would be not going up and down, but left and right. So that's the x-axis. And then slope-intercept form, you guys also, I'm sure, have in your memories from Algebra 1, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. Y-intercept, not x-intercept. That's really the only mistake that people make in this section. So find the slope. I'm given 2 points. It says right up at top, when I'm given 2 points, I'm going to use this formula to find the slope. So I'm going to label these. It doesn't matter which one you call x1 and y1, which one you call x2 and y2, as long as you keep the 1's together in the same parenthesis and the 2's together in the same parenthesis. You can't have x1, y2. That just doesn't make sense, okay? And then I'm just going to plug into the formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, okay? And I want you guys, as you're working, I want you to work down. I'm sure I've said this. I'm still way ahead in the notes, so it's the second day of school. I don't really know how many times I've said this by the time you guys watch this video, but I want you to work down, okay? So minus, let me grab a different color. Minus a negative we know becomes plus, right? So that's 2 plus 7 on top, 2 plus 5 on top, which is 7 over negative 4. So the slope is negative 7 over 4. Or 7 over negative 4. Either way, okay? Don't overcomplicate this. This is easy Algebra 1 stuff. All right, so right here, all we have to do is remember that m is the slope. So this is m, and b is the y-intercept. So this is b. And we're going to substitute into the equation the slope and the y-intercept. It is that easy. All right, I hope we're good. I hope I'm not going too fast, but I kind of want to keep this one as short as possible because I have been not doing that yet. Again, let's start with B. I'm not sure why I keep doing this, but let's start with B. B is a little bit easier. So in order to graph, we need to get it into slope-intercept form. So we want slope-intercept form. So I need to get the y by itself to make it look like this, right? So how do I get the y by itself? Okay, so hopefully you said subtract 4 from both sides. And this is going to go away. Now, are these, can I combine those? They're not like terms, right? Like terms have the same variable and the same exponent. This one has an x and this one doesn't. So I can't combine them. So all I can do is just write them. Both of them. And I put the x first because that's how it looks in this one. Now I can extract the information that I need. I can see the m is in front of the x. So the m is negative 3. And I can see the b is after the x, but it's a plus. So I might need to write this like this. to see that the b is -4. Okay, I don't think, you guys probably don't need that, but just to be safe. And then I'm going to graph. So hopefully you have some graph paper because I want your graphs on graph paper. The notes, I don't care if they're on graph paper because it's only 2. I don't want you to waste a piece of graph paper for just 2 graphs, but I do want your assignment on graph paper. So I'm going to draw a graph. I'm seeing that they're both negative, so I need a lot on the negative y-axis. It's okay if you don't get that right away. So I'm going to start, remember this is the y-intercept. It says that directly above, way up here. I don't want to keep moving the paper though. This is the y-intercept, so I need to start at -4 on the y-axis. That's my beginning point. When I teach Algebra 1, I always say B for begin, M for move. Now it needs to be rise over run, and I don't want to change the value. This still needs to equal -3, so I can't just randomly place a 2 under there. I need to place a 1 so that this is still equal to -3. I got a sneeze coming. Excuse me. All right. So rise -3 actually means go down, correct? So I'm going to go down 3 and right 1 because that's a positive 1. So from the y-intercept, I'm going down 3 and right 1. This is also, oops, I wanted to do that. I was trying to color code this. Oh well. This is also the same as this. This is still equal to -3. Do you agree? This is still equal to -3. So this would be a rise of 3 up and left 1. 1, 2, 3, and left. Because positive for y means up and negative for x means left. And you can see that those all make a nice, neat line. Okay? All right, so let's do this one. So again, we want to get the y by itself. So the first step in doing that is to move the x over. Excuse me. So then that's going to go away. I'm left with -2y on the left. And just like before, I can't combine these, so I'm just going to write them, and I'm going to write them in the order that it looks like in slope-intercept form. The x first, okay? Now I'm not done. I have an extra step on this one. I still need to get the y by itself, so I have to divide everything by -2. And then that division, or that multiplication and division is going to cancel out, so I'm left with y. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. So I have 5 over 2x, right? And then a negative divided by a negative is a positive, so +2. Okay, so I want you to tell me what the y-intercept is on this. Okay, so hopefully you got that the y-intercept is 2. And then pause me for a sec and tell me what and write down the slope, just real quick. Okay, so the slope is 5 over 2. All right. So that one's already set up as a rise over run for us. Now I'm seeing these are all positive, so I'm going to need a lot of positive on my y-axis. I may not have given myself enough space, so I'm going to make my tick marks a little smaller. Oh, you can't see that, sorry. So B for begin. It's always on the y-axis. The B is the y-intercept. So I'm going to start at 2 on the y-axis. And then the rise over run, they're both positive, so I'm going to go up and right. So I'm going to go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 2. I gave myself more than enough space. Now I think I'm going to run out of space on the bottom, but that's okay. From the y-intercept, always counting from the y-intercept, I count up 5 and right 2. And then this is the same as this, because the negative divided by a negative is a positive. We already said that right there. Okay. So I'm going to go down 5 and left 2. I think I might be able to squeeze it in. From the y-intercept, 1, 2, 3. Don't forget to count the origin right there. That does count as a unit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and left 2 right there. And then my line looks like that. Okay. So hopefully that was just a refresher for you guys. All right, I'll see you later.